Yeah.
I forgot it. Happy 4th of July, not.
It's a big problem. Basically, anything that can pass through the blood-brain barrier goes right into the body.
They have people that's controlling them through a controller, like a video game. Like, it's all futuristic. Like, the video games is like the whole room.
This kind of technology runs on frequencies, drones, and the drones would be able to fly. They don't need a battery, they don't need gas, they don't need anything like that. They just need to be configured in such a way that it can pick up the frequencies. Cavities, that's a lie. To fill cavities with mercury, they're silver amalgams and ceramic fillings. Now, the ceramic fillings actually have nano components in them. Okay, good.
Okay, there you go. Now, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, okay, sorry about that.
Oh, no. I appreciate the time.
You said nano voicing?
Nano poisoning.
Poisoning. Oh, like nano poisoning. Not too familiar. Would you mind going into that?
Oh yeah, that's really key, is what I'm finding.
Let me close my window because they're busting a lot of fireworks and it's gonna be.
Oh yeah,
loud.
that's right. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, that sounds a little better. It was kind of loud out there.
I forgot it. Happy 4th of July, not.
Yeah, for those who celebrate, I mean,
Right.
more power to you. Happy today. And actually, it's the 5th out there for you, huh?
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Nice. So go ahead. You said nano poisoning.
Right, nano poisoning. So there is, I've been uploading Tony Pantelleresco's videos for about over a year now. Mm-hmm. And a big part of, he had transitioned from creating herbal remedies to realizing this is nano poisoning that's been imposed on people from the 1960s. So the whole thing about nano poisoning is that it's what's being called or mislabeled as Morgellons or Lyme. And so with that, I can recall back in the 90s, there was Nano Technology, but it was like sort of on the periphery, It really wasn't in my awareness until recently, like last year or so. But it's a big problem. Basically, anything that can pass through the blood-brain barrier goes right into the body, and when it's consumed, goes through the digestive tract, and then it's pulled out when it gets to the kidneys. It basically, because the liver doesn't know what to do with it, it goes straight to the brain. So because these nanoscale particulates are collecting in the brain, it's creating an antenna within the head. And so it's necessary to pull out the accumulation of the nano components.
And so what exactly brings in the nano components?
Right. Yeah. So it's
you have to pull out, like, I mean, how do you do that, and exactly where?
What's the source of the nano?
Or to start, what exactly is a nano component?
Okay, so I had to take a look at this myself. It was like, think of an engine, okay, an automobile engine, okay? Mm-hmm. But these are on a nanoscale. And with nanotechnology, this is on a scale that is so tiny, but the advanced technology that's coming out and being put into the nano, this is part of this, let's see, what is it? Nano components are basically like tiny size.
When you say nano, you make me think of the movie. I think it was called The Game or something like that, where they were like the Sims, and it was Terry Crews, and they were like shooting, but basically it was a game,
Okay.
and they were controlled by nano something. I'm not sure the specific name. I'll have to look that up and post that down there. But like basically it was like controlling, like basically what you're explaining, it was controlling their brain. And I don't know if you've never heard of that movie.
I haven't heard that movie, but a lot of things that go into Hollywood are showing what's available.
Do you know of the game The Sims?
Sim games like Sim City?
I think it's just called The Sims, like SIMS, The Sims.
It sounds familiar. Is it?
Like just humans just acting out regular life, like, you know, building your house and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I have.
you've heard of that?
I have. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So the movie is basically like that, like, but it's real life, and basically, I'm trying to think of how to explain it, like, you know, for someone who hasn't seen it. But basically, they have like chips in their brain,
Okay.
and you're playing a game, but the game is real people. So it's like, instead of like, you know, like a game, like, you know how you would have figures on a screen that's not real, but you have a controller of a game that's actually real people, you know, running around and doing all the different things, like having sex and shooting and killing each other, and there's a jail, and that's like one of the ways that they get through the jail or like escape or something like that. But they have people that's controlling them through a controller, like a video game. Like, it's all futuristic. Like, the video games is like the whole room. I don't know. I'll have to find that name for you, and I'll have to send it to you if you haven't seen it. It's definitely something good to watch. And I'm sorry to cut you off, so I'll let you go back. But the nano is what made me think about that. So because they use that specific word. I'm pretty sure they use nano, but
Yeah.
I can't remember after that. So
Okay. Do you recall about what year this was? This movie?
it came out maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh.
It was late 2000. I mean, well, not late 2000s, but it was after 2000, and yeah, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, something like that. That's the best I can think of. I'll find it and I'll let you know specifically. I'll send you an email to so you got at least watch the trailer.
Yeah. Right.
All you need is the trailer. It'll explain the whole movie.
Yeah, the trailer is always nice and concise. I like that.
But go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off. It just that nano kind of triggers something, but I'll let you continue from there.
Okay, well, my bringing up nano because Tony Pantelleresco's been working on nano, fighting the nano. Nano is basically the hardware that's going to enable the interaction for the AI or the reptilian intelligence to infiltrate the body. And that's why it's important to detox the heavy metals. And it's exactly like the movie you're talking about. I mean,
That's just what I was about to say.
Yeah.
That's just what I was about to say. But go ahead.
Exactly. It's so that's pretty significant, and it's important to be able to first of all block the frequencies that are coming through, because I think it was maybe 2 months ago or maybe a month ago, there was a resonance engineer scientist, and he came on and made some comments about C60. And I haven't seen anybody who's a specialist like this ever come onto my channel and make comments. He was very fervent about informing the people. I can't believe people are taking C60. Don't you know what this is? And so what I did was I collected all of his comments and I made it into a video. And it's about just this, how this resonance engineer scientist was pointing out all that could happen to it. And basically, I don't have a full grasp on this because I'm not in the field like he is, but from what I've gathered when I put together this video is that these engines, like when I was referring to an automobile, but on a nanoscale, it's like, what can make this run? Well, this kind of technology runs on frequencies. And so it's like, it's just a matter of adjusting the frequency to make something go. So if you can imagine these drones, and the drones would be able to fly, they don't need a battery, they don't need gas, they don't need anything like that. They just need to be configured in such a way that it can pick up the frequencies.
Yes.
It's like alien technology, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, the frequency is just a wave, you know, it's just a wave, it's just a pattern, you know, and it's a lot they can do with the frequency of everybody. Like the world right now is controlled by the frequency they have programmed us, you know, to follow, you know what I mean? Because now a lot of people, I ask a lot of people that every day is like, do you feel like people are waking up? But I feel like they are, because for myself, for example, it's like, you know, when I was growing up, I didn't know anybody that was interested in the type of things that I'm interested in, like frequency and, you know, that type of stuff. So I see it growing, and it's just, it's so far that it goes. It's crazy. But to get to the meat and potatoes today, we're talking about self-healing, and you know, I want to make sure we stay focused on that. That was a great introduction, you know, and I don't want to go too far off though. But the self-healing, I'll let you start. Just self-healing. What do you feel from there?
Self-healing is being able to identify what doesn't feel in rhythm with one's normal actions. Of course, there's a lot of interference and there's a lot of interruptions from the frequency bombardment that a lot of people are experiencing. So there are actually, I pulled up a couple of videos, and that's about blocking from the frequencies. And in terms of self-healing, it's actually tapping into the body's, you could call them the body's ley lines, okay? So the body has ley lines, we call them meridians for Chinese medicine.
For the viewers that don't understand, what is a ley line?
Well, a ley line on the scale of the planet is basically energy ebbs and flows. Oh my gosh, you won't believe this. I was on the train going from Geneva to Zurich, and I missed my stop. The train went around and it headed back to Geneva. Now, this is a train trip that lasts three hours, 3.5 hours for me to get from Geneva main station back home. So to be on the train for 6 hours and not to realize that the train had turned around, and I was hyper productive. I mean, I got only 4 pages written, but I was in the work mode. So my belief is that the train lines here in Switzerland are laid on the ley lines. And the only reason why I could say that is because when I was in San Francisco, 2016, a friend of mine, she lived 1 block away from the Mission Dolores, which is the oldest structure in San Francisco. It was built in the 1600s. And so the churches are laid on ley lines for a purpose. And so this area around it, my friend had sort of given up her room for me to stay in this room so she could, so I could do what I needed to do in California. But that I was writing the energy of the ley lines. It's like there's no sense of time.
So I still don't exactly understand what is a ley line.
It's
What exactly is a ley line?
if you could think of it similar to a ley line is the Earth's veins that carries energy. It's like the bloodline.
Got that.
Yikes, the bloodline.
That makes sense.
Okay, sorry about that.
I'm just trying to make sure we on the same page. You know, sometimes we use words that not everyone understands. So if it comes to a word that I don't understand, then I'll just ask you about it. And I'm sorry to cut you off. I hope you can stay on your path.
Oh, no.
But now I got it. It's kind of like blood veins. But if you remember where you are, I would appreciate if you continue from where you was at.
Okay, yeah. So that was the whole discovery that I'd made, that being on this train trip, realizing that I was on a ley line, or identifying that the train tracks here are on ley lines, that's humongous. Now getting back to the meridians. The meridians, very similar to the bloodlines of the earth or the energy lines of the earth. It's where chi flows. So it's like, what is chi? And if we think about how, like, the most famous martial artist I could think of is Bruce Lee. Okay. And with Bruce Lee, he's able to basically move people with the chi that he's able to collect and build on. Let's see if I can get this just a touch. So when a martial artist is doing his Tai Chi work, he is able to collect all the chi around him. And with that, then he's able to blast. So I'm going to send you some chi, just sort of gathering it. And I feel in the hands and the bottom of the feet are the endpoints of the meridians. And so I'm going to watch the rise, a big love blast.
As you speak of that, sorry I'm off camera. I'll just
oh no, it's okay. I see you.
But I'll be back soon. But that makes me think of Chi Xiao. Do you know of him? Chi Xiao.
You know, I'd have to see how is it.
He does. I'm not sure exactly where he's from. I know he's like of Asian descent.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like Japanese or Chinese or what. Okay. But he does self-healing. And what he does is like, it's called like a tap technique where you like tap your arm.
Oh yeah, okay, so that's Master Chi Xiao. It's
Hong Chi Xiao.
Hong Chi Xiao. Okay.
Yeah. It's HONG CHIXIAO.
Okay. I would call him Hong Chi Xiao. It's he's I want to say yes, he is Asian Chinese, and it's a Leijing. And what is this? This tapping that he does, the meridians. Actually, I got my toothbrush here in the little. There we go. I have. I was trying that when I returned from San Francisco, and it makes a big noise, and my partner just didn't like it. So I took his toothbrush, and because it's one of those sonic toothbrushes, and it basically, you can get into the meridians that way.
Yeah, I remember seeing you speak on that on one of your videos.
Yeah, that's actually a very effective way of clearing the meridians, opening them up. So it doesn't matter what one is doing, whether it's taking an abundant supply of
Let,
nutritional.
let me ask you this. As far as the toothbrush, you say you were using the toothbrush.
Yeah.
So what was the benefit of the toothbrush you were using? Like, is there something else? Because I know like some people may look at a toothbrush as in I don't know, any type of way. So is there something else that will have the same type of effect as the toothbrush? Or like, I mean, just basically what I'm asking is what is it exactly that you're using from the toothbrush? Like, is it the
Exactly.
spinning vibration or is it the, you know?
Right. So the last device I have that I did in the video, it's called an intrasonic massager, and I think it's made in Denmark. But the intrasonic wave range for frequencies is just below that of an ultrasonic sonar device that would be used on typically on a mother's who's pregnant, right? So that is important to recognize that those sonic machines, sonar machines, the sound wave, that is that takes a higher degree of training so that one doesn't injure the fetus. And so when you go one layer back from what isn't, that's more for laymen, it's more about the intrasonic. So the wave range for these frequencies, one is not going to hurt themselves. And so with a sonic toothbrush or an intrasonic massager, these are going to enable one to work the meridians and unblock the chi without doing any harm. If there's some excess usage, when I found I was working with the intrasonic device, it's like I could go on for a good amount of time because it just felt so good. It was really getting in deep, and especially on my partner. And so using the toothbrush, it's because it has it's also on a intrasonic scale. The thing about using the toothbrush, first of all, is if one has fillings, silver amalgams, that's not a good thing. So because it's got mercury in it, one is brushing their teeth and they're basically aggravating the mercury filling, and then perhaps after they end up with this headache or they've got some body aches or a locked jaw.
The mercury is in the toothbrush or the toothpaste?
It's in the filling, in the silver amalgam.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the way that so okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Hold on, let me turn on my video. So you're saying about the toothbrush. I thought you were talking about certain points of your body, but you're using the meridian as in points of your mouth right now.
So I wanted to.
Like what exactly? I'm sorry, I got kind of lost. What exactly do you use the toothbrush for? And it just there. What exactly do you use the toothbrush? Like, are you talking about with your mouth or points of your body? Because when I was looking at your video, I saw points of your body, but you were using a different device, not a toothbrush.
Right.
So that's what I thought you were talking about.
Okay.
What you're talking about, but I might be confused, so I'm just asking the.
Oh no, just sort of clarify.
Yeah.
The dental industry does not have man's best interests at heart or in mind.
I agree.
To be putting fluoride in the mouth to prevent cavities,
Right.
that's a lie. To fill cavities with mercury, the silver amalgams contain mercury. Mm-hmm. The next step that came after the mercury fillings, and they're really only used for those with a low income, but they have these then ceramic fillings. Now the ceramic fillings actually have nano components in them. So it's going to look like you got regular teeth, no fillings, no black fillings in the mouth. So cosmetically, it looks better. And so these three parts in the dental industry that's providing a service for man, it's really detrimental. So I wanted to identify that and to use an electric toothbrush, even if it's just a cheap one, to brush the teeth when there is mercury filling or a silver amalgam. It's going to be aggravating the mercury. It's going to be shaking the mercury in there. And then that lets off fumes, gases, it's released, and then it's like right in your head, for crying out loud. That's not good. And each tooth actually correlates with a vital organ. So if one didn't have any of these fillings, it'd be okay to use an electric toothbrush. But I have two major fillings. Now, getting back to using an intrasonic massager, or because that one's a bit expensive. I think it was about 300 francs for it, and like this is only 40.
And that was the one you were using on your arms and whatnot.
Yeah. That was the one that it is effective. I'll say that. But the toothbrush, just for the layman, it is a good substitute. Now, when using this, it's to first unblock the meridians on the hands, because that's basically the endpoints, and the feet. And then it would be to go to that Leijing part where you're tapping on the elbow, right in there. And just those four parts: hands, then elbows, then going down to the bottom of the feet, and then the knees. One is actually unblocking the 12 meridians of the body. And this allows then the body to absorb those nutrients that one is taking orally.
And you can use the toothbrush instead of the intrasonic
Massager, yeah.
Massager. So that's what you're saying. You could use that in those areas.
Mm-hmm. I had gotten a lot of comments on that particular video where people were asking me, could I use this other kind of massaging device? And I don't know what that is, but it's like, sure, try. It's really just about...
It's just about massaging the certain area.
Yes, the elbows and knees, and all around the elbow and the knee. And I'm sorry, just one quick thing. It's the sensitive parts. When one finds a ticklish part, or it's like, you just don't want to stick on it and do the massage there, that's the part that needs the attention.
Got you. Yeah. It makes sense. So it makes sense. I know what that means. Like, just like when you're working out, like the worst parts the worst workouts, like if you don't want to work your stomach, that's usually the most important part you need to work.
Yeah.
Just like everything else. So I understand what you mean by that.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the other thing about unblocking meridians. It's about, it can actually supplement or complement what one is doing for a physical workout. It just sort of loosens up naturally without going through big stretches.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't heard of Chi Xiao, and because he talks a lot about the block meridians and like the invisible and visible, like things that affect you, because like what he says is there's visible things that affect you, like a car accident or like a fight or like anything that's visibly that's visible. And then there's another there's invisible, which is like from your stress, from the way you think and the way you feel and the way you look at life or whatever, internalize everything, that causes sickness as well from being stressed out. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I had it was just on a fluke before I left San Francisco and returned here. I found Chi Xiao, and it's like just the day before, and I started to tell my friend about slapping the Lei Jing, and she
Oh,
said,
so you have heard of him. I'm
"Yeah,
sorry.
yeah."
Okay, okay, go ahead.
And so it was. It's like I didn't have enough time to fully experience it because I was then on the plane the next day, and then arrived here, and then it was here that I was exploring it more. But yeah, he has a lot of good information, um, and I feel like just taking either the massager or the toothbrush or whatever device one has, one can get in deeper to the meridians and unblock them this way. And it's not so loud. I actually got a neighbor upstairs and she has a massage device as well, but it sounds pretty big and heavy duty. I was thinking if she just unblocked her meridians, then the flow of chi would be able to reach to the part that needs assistance, which is probably the spot where she's massaging. Um, so that is interesting. You
Yeah.
know,
Another thing that's kind of crazy about Hung Shi Zhao is that he was extradited or was supposed to be extradited to Australia. I don't know if you heard about that for
right. This was
or something.
for a little kid, I think, who may have been injured.
And he died.
He
But
died.
what they were trying to say is that he told them not to take his insulin. Like he was saying, they were trying to say that he told him that he denied him of his insulin. Like whatever was wrong, he needed his insulin.
Okay.
But what he was saying in his response is that he never told anyone not to take anything or stop doing anything. He just spoke of how he felt, what you should be doing, but he didn't tell them to stop doing anything. And then they try to get him on charges for manslaughter for that, as well as the mom, the dad, and I believe the grandma or grandpa, one of them. I'm not sure. I believe it's the grandma. But the mom, the dad, and the grandma, they're trying to get them all for manslaughter for the child. I mean, it's kind of old now, you know what I mean? But I was just wondering.
I had seen that, and this is where his website sort of took a change. Not really take a change. It was more that his focus became on what this is to please take responsibility for your own actions, make decisions. This is not a healing. This is a self-treatment, basically. And to self-treat one or one's children is not something, and this was part of his website where it was that he was withdrawing from any responsibility for any damage that could possibly happen, just for sharing the information. And that's pretty significant. It's like it's not possible for people to sue the vaccine corporations or the pharmaceuticals for making this, because what it always comes down is the parent has to sign.
You agree. You sign. You agree to whatever, and you waive any rights that whatever they do. If it turns you into an alien and you fly away, that's your fault because you signed your name on that dotted line.
Right. That's true. I'm constantly going back over all the documents I've ever applied a mark to, and I realize most of it has to do with educational institutions, with banking institutions, with medical industry, and they're all part of the system.
And all those words, what they put in there, they mean something. It might not seem. It seems like just a bunch of words but they really are locking you into something way deeper than what we usually understand. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. The one that's really scary is when they accept a document by electronic signature. That's like at the bank, basically. So the bank is basically the gateway.
And everything is online now. You can electronic sign everything now. You don't have to. They don't have to ever see you. All they need is that all cap.
Right. Right. I mean, that's part of the interface that we're going through, where people are losing their, I want to say, they're being placed under a specific jurisdiction that just doesn't have their best interest in mind. Yeah, it is scary.
So, about blocked meridians, what are some things that may be blocking our meridians?
That's a good question. After I had returned from Hawaii, I found this other unblocking meridian, and it's let me pull this one up. It's let's see, it's the belly button one, and basically that. Let me pull this up here. Let's see. A lot of it has to do with our habits, but our habits are also formed by how society has shifted and manipulated our activities. So we sit a lot. I mean, the human body, the man's body is not meant to be sitting. So we're actually blocking just by sitting this.
Here at the computer, on our phone, we sit down and just everything is in front of us now.
Yeah, it's made to, oh, there's my coffee. I don't have to go get it. And there's my tissue. I don't have to go get up in anywhere. It's like
the cartoon Wally. Have you seen? That's how it is. Okay, go ahead. we got 2 minutes and a half. We'll go ahead.
Let's say with what other things that are I want to say hindering our health has a lot to do with what we put into our body. And the industrial food complex, it's really not been helpful. And that's a lot of where this nano components come in. I mean, the body really isn't made to digest grains. There's two enzymes and proteases that are missing in the gut that would be able to digest this. And we just don't have this. So by the time we're middle-aged, people end up with leaky gut syndrome and they wonder why. So what are grains? It's like if one could stop eating bread, pasta, rice, even the quasi grains like quinoa, all of this, it's been what we put into our body that hasn't helped us. So it's like no matter what kind of treatments you're doing for self-healing, it's not going to matter because of what's going in.
I agree. And not only what's going in physically, but what's going in mentally, what's going in by, let's say your phone is sending out we were talking about frequencies. Frequencies have a lot of what's going into your body. And, food, definitely. We don't drink enough water. We don't eat enough fruits, and we eat way too much meat. Like one bite is probably too much. But so I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying we do that, you know what I mean? But we got about 30 seconds, so I definitely appreciate having you here. I want to continue this. I just need to save it. It'll be about 20-25 minutes to save it.
Okay.
And if we could start on Hangouts or one of those, I'll be right back with you if that's okay with you.
That's okay. I'll just leave this open then, or not Zoom, but the other one, and then we'll meet up again.
Thank you much.
Okay, thank you.
All right.